every day around Iredell County for just $1. Visit rideicats.com.
Dreaming of a new home or a better rate? At O'Brien Home Loans, our team of independent brokers find tailored solutions that truly fit your life. Proudly serving North Carolina with honest advice and local heart. Visit o'brienhomeloans.com today for a free quote.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Hello and welcome to Dollars and Cents presented by North Main Financial. I'm your host, Joshua Dobi. Thank you so much for tuning in with us here, 4 o'clock on a Thursday. If you're a 9-to-5er, you've got 53 minutes, 23 seconds until we hit that 5 o'clock bell, and I appreciate so much you spending that time with us here as we're giving attention to all things economic, financial. You know how we do it on this show. We're looking at all kinds of things going on. It's earnings week. Well, I shouldn't say it's earnings week. You can say it's earnings week pretty much every week anymore. It used to be that they were segmented into certain pockets of the calendar year. Gosh, I feel like companies now with their different fiscal years are always reporting something. But this is a big one. Got a lot of them this week. Going to be talking to a lot of companies. And I'm going to tell you in advance, we're going to look at some in a more positive light, maybe some in a not so positive light. We're going to be doing that. But in doing so, you remember as a previous listener, $2 and cents, that nothing that we're talking about here is intended as a specific recommendation for you, meaning that everybody's financial situation is unique. We strongly, strongly recommend that you reach out to your tax advisor, to your financial advisor, or if you'd like to reach out to us at North Main Financial Group, love to hear from you. Love to chat about your particular financial situation, see if there are ways in which we might be able to be helpful to you. Online, you can find us at northmainfinancial.com. That's north like the direction, Main like the street, financial.com. Northmainfinancial.com. We have a contact page on there. Leave us a phone number, address. Let us know. I got to say this. Let us know if you want us to text message you. I know it's a big thing that's sitting out there, so we always tell folks that certainly we can do that as well. But let us know the most preferred and desirable ways for us to contact you, again, at northmainfinancial.com. You're also welcome to call us here in the studio. Can't promise you I'm going to get to your question today. Got a loaded doc here, but please leave it. Make sure that I'll get back to you with regards to what's happening. You can call us here in the studio, 844-STUDIO-4. That's 844-788-3464, 844-788-3464 here in the studio at WSIC. All right, let's just jump into it. As I said to you here a couple of moments ago, it can't call it the earnings week, but I'll call it or I guess not but an earnings week. And I'll call it a big earnings week as we're looking at the kinds of companies that have been already on the docket for announcing earnings. A couple of the biggest ones that are doing it literally right now, actually, as of the time of this live broadcast or as of the time of this recording, if you happen to be listening to the podcast version of it, we've got two big ones that are literally giving their earnings report right now. Looking at you, Amazon, looking at you, Apple, both of those two. Not going to talk about because I don't know what they are. I'm on here with you right now. But I know that they're out there right now, so make sure you tune in to see what those earnings reports are. Going to be very interesting to see for both of those. Ticker symbol for Amazon, Alpha Mary Zulu Nancy. Ticker symbol for Apple, Alpha Paul Larry. Not a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold the stock or the debt of either of those two companies, but they are movers and shakers. And if no other reason, two of the largest by market capitalization publicly traded companies on the planet. So very, very important to hear what they have to say. Going to be interesting to see, especially on the Amazon side of things, how AWS is looking, their Amazon Web Services division with regards. I mean, if you're not familiar with AWS, if you go on to just about any of the major retail shopping sites outside of Walmart, definitely, but most of the retail shopping spaces that are out there probably running on an AWS chassis of one kind, shape, variety, or another. I mean, they are just very omnipresent when it comes to the underpinnings, if you will, of our internet activity. And then Apple, I'm going to be very interested to hear how that iPhone 17 is looking from a sales standpoint. Is it meeting expectations, under expectations? And then, of course, what always is the most important thing, what do they see in the next quarter and beyond from a company standpoint, certainly in terms of a sales standpoint. Going to be interesting to see for both of them, especially because of the companies I'm going to be talking about here next. I'm very interested to see what their AI spending is, or specifically their AI capitalization spending is. I mean, that is dominating quarterly earnings reports right now for our largest technology companies. It almost is overshadowing most other parts of their quarterly report. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying that's just the reality right now, and that certainly was true for two of the big ones that announced yesterday. Again, two others that are, again, among the largest technology companies out there. These are names you know very, very well, just like Apple and Amazon. I'm looking at you, Google. I'm looking at you, Meta, the former Facebook. Now Facebook is part of the parent company, Meta, that's out there. Ticker symbol on the C shares for Google, green, Oscar, green. And then I'm looking at Meta, Mary Edwards, Tom Alpha, META. Not a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold the debt or the equity on either of those two companies. And very interesting. Actually, very, very interesting. A little bit of a dichotomous kind of reporting aspect, in that Google, their reports, which I thought were positive, just internally from an analyzation standpoint, I thought were very positive. And the stock popped a little bit, up about 3%. Not huge, not a reason to to run around and say that you hit the end of the rainbow there, but certainly I thought impressive because the expectations are so blooming high too. That Google looked good there. Then Meta, I'll say again, from an internal analyzation standpoint, I thought it was a good quarter. I mean, I thought that okay, maybe they didn't hit the whisper numbers as far as the earnings aspect was concerned. Definitely true there. But when I'm looking at all of the data, top line revenue, expenditures, bottom line profit kinds of things, I didn't think it was bad at all. But the expectations are so outrageous. And coming back to what I said here just a few moments ago, the huge amount of spending. And by huge, I'm not talking about millions. I'm talking about billions, and not single-digit billions, but double-digit billions per quarter that Meta is talking about spending. Google's doing similar, not quite at this scale, but Meta is talking about spending on AI infrastructure, artificial intelligence infrastructure. And so when you're talking about 50, 60, 70 billion dollars being spent in 90 days, I mean, it's hard for me to imagine spending $1 billion a day. Well, they're obviously not writing checks for $1 billion a day, but they're making commitments, certainly with other companies, in terms of build out, in terms of semiconductor farms, database farms, that you need, power infrastructure in order to be able to support these kinds of things. I mean, these are all big ticket items. This is not like walking into the 5 and dime candy store and picking out a couple of your favorites. I mean, we're talking about huge infrastructure kinds of things. And Meta's out there saying they're going to do that. And I wonder, because the stock, I got to tell you this, stock went down about 10%. I think actually almost 11% by the time the market closed today. Again, as of the time of this live broadcast, or as of the time of this recording. And I was trying to figure out why the market was so negative on it, because definitely a lot of indication of high-level spending in terms of where Meta was going and is going, excuse me. But it seemed to me that because maybe they didn't hit the perfect numbers on the top line revenue and the bottom line margin, that maybe the market just took some of the bloom off the rose a little bit. Now, you have to take it in context as well. Meta is among the companies that have done spectacularly well here, again, have done so for the last couple of years. So when that happens, the margins, the expectation on margin get outrageous. And I mean, it's because it's always more, right? So no matter how perfect you were, there's always an expectation of more. I think that's one of the reasons why Meta traded down, and one of the reasons why that we saw a pullback today. So, but we'll find out. We're going to keep watching it. And we also got a couple more things to talk about here. But first, we're going to take a few seconds here from our sponsors. I'm going to catch a deep breath. We're going to come back here in a moment on WSIC. Here, Dollars and Cents, presented by North Main Financial. Back in a moment.
Make no mistake.
Did you say steak?
We'll be back to talk more finances and food on Dollars and Cents, presented by North Main Financial on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, finally breaking free of the clouds and the rainy weather pattern that we've started the week with. Sunshine coming back as we work through our Thursday. Temperatures warm back up into the low 60s. Dropping off into the low 40s tonight. Halloween day for our Friday in good shape with sunshine at mid-60s. Falling through the 50s as the kiddos head out for trick-or-treating. So it should be a nice night and a nice weekend coming up. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like iCats Public Transit.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. The 500 Club in Statesville is having their Thirsty Thursdays tournament on October 30th, beginning at 4:30 p.m. Call 704-872-9990 for more information on tee times, putting lessons with their golf pros, and league tournaments. Let's do the time warp again. On Halloween night, WSIC is bringing the Rocky Horror Picture Show to the Charles Mack Citizen Center in Mooresville. This cult classic movie will be shown in the Knox Auditorium along with a shadowcast. The VIP experience begins at 6 p.m. with showtime at 8. Come dress up and be prepared to sing and dance along. It's just a jump to the left. Tickets are on sale right now at WSICnews.com. Saturday is the 23rd annual Statesville Pumpkin Festival. Downtown will be packed with mouth-watering food, live music, arts and crafts, a kids zone, pumpkin smashing, painting, and a classic car cruise-in. The festival runs from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Go to StatesvillePumpkinFest.com for more details. The dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway presents the World Short Track Championships on Friday and Saturday. And then the World of Outlaws World Finals are November 5th through the 8th. Click on CharlotteMotorSpeedway.com for more information.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Saturdays and Sundays now through November 23rd. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. While supplies last, don't miss the Renaissance Festival! Huzzah!
Stay up to date and find out about local events, job opportunities, real estate information, and more. Visit liveworkplaylkn.com and sign up for the weekly newsletter. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
From market trends to retirement plans, Joshua Dobi has you covered. We're back with more Dollars and Cents presented by North Main Financial on WSIC. Local starts here.
Hello and welcome back to Dollars and Cents presented by North Main Financial. I'm your host, Joshua Dobi. Thank you so much for hanging with us here. You made it. Second quarter of today's show. Blatant football reference. Folks, it's football season. We talk football here. We talk finance. We talk food. We talk football here on Dollars and Cents. It's all related to money. Are you kidding me? You look around. I got to highlight this. We're going to talk about our Panthers here in just a minute, but I got to highlight this because it happened this past week, and it absolutely has to do with finances. And if you don't believe me, you just listen to some of the numbers I'm spitting out here. And I'm looking at big time college football. I am specifically looking at Louisiana State University, LSU, as they're most commonly known, and they this past week let go of their head coach Brian Kelly. Okay, so he was let go. He was fired, I guess, is the appropriate vernacular to say that. And I'm saying that, you say, okay, LSU. I mean, first of all, the guy's had an amazing amount of success there. So it's not like he's like 0-39 or something like that. But he's had an amazing amount of success there. Has had a couple losses in a row, which, I mean, in the insanity of big time sports right now, producer Reese. I mean. And literally, that was true with Franklin up at Penn State. I mean, his record over the last, however long he's been there, 10, 12 years, is spectacular. He's got over 100 wins. I mean, he's got like a 10-win per year average in the time that he's been there. Kelly, very similar. Now, he was only there for 3 or 4 years, I want to say, in LSU. But here's the kicker. That's why I'm bringing it up. It's about money.
Okay.
$53 million in the buyout. $53 million. As I was doing some other work today, and I got to talk about this. This is just amazing to me. I was doing some other work today on not just show prep, but business things at the office, and I looked up to see the governor of Louisiana opine in terms of how they were going to be looking for a new football coach. Now, I don't want to say anything about the state of Louisiana. Pretty sure I don't want to say anything about the state of big time college football right now. But if the governor is weighing in on who's going to be hired as the next coach of the big football team in the state,
that's a big deal.
That is a big, and I'm not sure that's what we should be doing. That's all the commentary I'm going to give on that. I'm pretty sure the governor's got a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think so.
Right.
And it's not for me to tell the governor of Louisiana to do or not do whatever it is that he wants to do. I just thought that was amazing because then he went on a sports talk show and said basically the same thing. and about I'm taking over basically as the the guiding force on what's going to happen with the hiring of the next football. $53 million.
Yeah, that's a big buyout.
I mean, in Franklin up at Penn State was close to $50 million in his buyout. Billy Napier out of Florida, he got let go too midseason. He didn't have quite as big of a buyout, probably because he's not as seasoned as a coach. But I want to say he was like 10 or 15 million, maybe 20 million. I mean, on the buyout. I mean, unbelievable. And again, it's the market. You hear us talk about the market all the time here. There is supply and there is demand. And if there is little supply and there is elevated demand, you're going to get bigger prices, and that certainly is the case for these big time college coaches. So anyhow, I had to bring that up because we talk about football, and that certainly has to do with finance. So I had to talk about that first, but now I got to talk about our Panthers. Now, and producer Reese said it right. He came right in here, right at the break, right in between quarter one and quarter two, and came in and say, "How about them Panthers playing 500 ball?" That's it. But I should really stop right there. I really shouldn't say anything else.
That's something to look forward to, in my opinion.
After 8 games, I mean, how many folks, maybe even some of those folks down there at B of A Stadium, how many folks would have really thought we'd be playing 500 ball, 4-4 at this point? Love that. Love that we're still in the mix. Absolutely still able to be qualified for the playoffs. And you know what that means? We are absolutely still eligible to win the Super Bowl. We absolutely are.
Are we eligible for the playoffs? I wasn't sure.
At 4-4 at the 8-game mark, I'm saying we're still in the mix.
Okay.
I'm saying we are not mathematically eliminated at this point. And until that's the case, I'm going to keep saying that we are absolutely in the running to win the Super Bowl.
I was going to take a jab at another team, but that ain't the show.
No, we don't. there are other places for that. I think I've taken enough jab probably at the whole state of Louisiana at this point, so I probably shouldn't talk.
Oh, well, I was going to take another jab at them. But,
were you really?
Yeah.
No, don't do that. No, I've poured it on here pretty thick. don't need any calls from the great state of Louisiana about that. But anyhow, so we're playing 500 ball. I am going to actually move quickly beyond maybe what wasn't as pleasing of a game experience last week, right? I think that's probably what we can say.
Yeah.
The Panthers played another team, maybe from the state of New York, and didn't work out as well as we all hoped that it would. But I'm moving on from that. 500 ball, 4-4 at the 8-game mark, loving it.
I'm just looking forward to next Sunday.
Still in the mix, you
That's
betcha.
what I'm
We're going forward on it, and as we like to say here at WSIC, it's still early.
Yep. Come on, Packers.
Still early. Let's go. Let's go. Exactly. Packers are pretty good. We're going to have to watch that too. So they're going to have to play pretty well.
There's always a chance, though.
There's always a chance.
There's always a chance in hockey, basketball, any sport, really.
There's no doubt about it. So it's absolutely out there and a possibility.
You've been watching the World Series at all?
Can you believe that stuff? I mean, it is. First of all, we had a game, 2 nights ago that went until 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern. I mean,
18 innings. That's 2 games in total.
I fell asleep, woke up. I mean, basically to get started with my day, still playing. I mean, are you kidding me right now? That's amazing. Yeah, 18 innings. I mean, one of the longest games ever on record.
Oh, probably.
I mean, not only in terms of number of innings, but in terms of the time duration.
There's plenty of time. There's probably plenty of games that have went 12, 13 innings maybe.
Sure.
But 18?
18. And then they concluded it, that Freddie Freeman, second time in his career, second time in the last couple of years, he just hits a rocket to dead
He did
center.
that last year, too, to end one of the games. I think game 1.
I mean, you look at the statistical probabilities, right? So, I mean, if you look at, first of all, the statistical probabilities of any baseball player making it to the major leagues, I mean, it's not even rounding error. It's just infinitesimal.
I wish he was still on the Braves because I'm a Braves fan.
You know what? I'm with you there.
So.
Sidebar. But if you look at the probabilities of hitting not just 1 but 2 walk-off home runs in a World Series, I mean, that's.
Well, did you know that there was like a scientist did a study or something?
Sure.
And hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports.
Completely agree.
That's what they said.
Completely agree with that. And I would even take it a step further that in addition to hitting a baseball, is one of the hardest things to, if not the hardest thing to do, the hardest skill to master, hitting a curveball as well. So, I mean, the fastball, if you know it's coming and it's coming on a straight line, sort of, because those things move around too, the way these guys throw them nowadays. But then to hit a curveball.
Yeah.
And I completely agree.
I think they said, it depended on the speed, but most of the time the ball reaches the plate in half a second.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, you watch some of those replays, or they got I don't know if it's the umpire or the catcher has a camera.
Yeah.
I mean, watching, I don't know. I mean, even when they slow it down, when they slow it down to like just stupid speed, like, oh, okay, I can actually see it braking and spinning at that point. It still comes in fast. I mean, you just have to be such a superior athlete with superior reflexes. It truly is.
Yeah, baseball's not easy.
No, it is
my main point.
Of course, I look at those hockey guys as well. And I look at that frozen piece of rubber that they're slinging around the rink like nobody's business. I can't even see it most of the time.
I'm a big hockey fan.
I know you
but
are.
If that thing's coming at me at 100 miles an hour,
80, 90, 100 miles an hour.
I'm not stepping in front of that thing.
Ducking. I'll duck. I have no shame. I will absolutely duck. I don't care how much padding I have on.
That's what I was going to say. Even if I have pads on,
it'll find the crease.
Yeah.
Actually, it'll find the crease between the padding and my skin, and it will nail me in the skin, and I will have a bruise that is the perfect replication of a hockey puck.
I'm skating away. I'm not stepping in front of that thing.
Okay, you win. Anyhow, great stuff. I mean, the skill and the intensity of it, and certainly with the World Series as that's on right now, pretty amazing stuff. I mean, the Blue Jays, I'm sure. Not anticipated by the masses. We're going to be now in the place going back to Toronto, where now they're up 3-2 and the possibility to close it out at home. Oof. Big stuff. Big stuff. And I mean, you think this doesn't have to do with finances, though? You see some of these contracts these guys have? I mean, it's unbelievable.
Ohtani?
I mean, what is it, like $800 million?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I mean, like $800 million over 10 years or something like that. I mean, $80 million a year? I mean, and that's not even the biggest one. I mean, there are bigger ones out there. There are bigger contracts that are out there. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, if someone said, all right, you get $80 million a year for 10 years, I'd be like, okay, I'm set for life.
I think so. I mean, now again, the way that big time athletics is done, you got a lot of people who got their hands in that pie. You got agents over here. You got other parts.
That's true.
You got a lot of taxes. Gosh, I mean, half of that vaporizes right into the tax universe, pretty much off the top. But $80 million a year, man.
Good old taxes.
That's true. I don't even like to talk about them. I do. We do talk about it on Dollars and Cents because I think we have a moral obligation to do that. But I really don't like doing it. But I mean, going back to Ohtani, and then I'm going to let it go here.
Mm-hmm.
But what he did the other night when he what was it? He hit 2 home runs and struck out 10 batters or something like that. I mean, he was the pitcher and the home run hitter. I mean, unbelievable. That's Babe Ruth style stuff. I don't mind saying it.
People are actually drawing the comparison now and asking who's better.
I mean, I didn't watch Babe Ruth play, obviously, so we just have the historical record insofar as what his impact was. But I think by any measure, I mean, certainly one of the best of all time, certainly seismic in terms of his impact on the sport itself. And of course, just one of the ultimate personalities as well. But Ohtani, with what he's doing, I mean, certainly doesn't seem very mortal, which I'm pretty sure is probably what they were saying about Babe Ruth.
Some people say you can't really compare them because they played in different times. But
it's fair, especially when you're doing an all-time player kind of thing or all-time members. And I know we talk about this in basketball. Certainly, you talk about it in football as well. It's a fair comment, I think, because then folks say, well, you can only talk about the best of that era. Okay, all right, I can. But then, how do you want to define the era? Is the era 5 years long, 10 years long, 50 years long? So what constitutes the era? As far as what the brackets are on the time, it's good conversation. It's fun conversation, right? Because I grew up a long time ago, so I mean the people I was watching on sports, you're probably right. They wouldn't be as competitive as they are today, or maybe they would be. They certainly think so. The ones that are still living. All right, friends, thank you so much. Hang with us here, talking football, finance, and food. We're going to take a break though. Come back here in a moment on Dollars and Cents at WSIC.
Make no mistake.
Did you say steak?
We'll be back to talk more finances and food on Dollars and Cents, presented by North Main Financial on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, finally breaking free of the clouds and the rainy weather pattern that we've started the week with. Sunshine coming back as we work through our Thursday. Temperatures warm back up into the low 60s. Dropping off into the low 40s tonight. Halloween day for our Friday in good shape with sunshine in mid-60s. Falling through the 50s as the kiddos head out for trick-or-treating. So it should be a nice night and a nice weekend coming up. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
cakes and cookies, toys and gifts.
The Southern Christmas Show, November 13th through 23rd at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Save on tickets at southernchristmasshow.com, courtesy of Kraft Body Scan.
The Southern Christmas Show.
Are you sick of running out of hot water? Whether it's in the middle of a shower or doing dishes, cold water's never fun. Say goodbye to those surprises with a Rinnai tankless water heater from GMV Energy. This energy-efficient propane-powered solution heats water instantly, so you'll never run out again. Plus, it saves money and frees up space. Propane models start at just $295 after rebates. Visit any G&V Energy location or gbenergy.com to learn more.
Hi, this is Bob McIntosh with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Since 1997, we have been committed to providing our clients with competent, caring, and experienced legal services. Learn more at McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Yeehaw for rodeo season at Harrison's, the home of work, western, and wow. Whether you compete or cheer from the stands, Harrison has the looks to help you wow the crowd. Get western classics and the latest styles from Harriet, Cinch, Rock and Roll Denim, and Wrangler. Find us in Mooresville.
Lowry Drug is a source for excellent pharmacy services. We have served the Statesville community since 1959. We have attentive customer service, a state-of-the-art compounding laboratory, and the Dispill medication packaging system that takes the work out of medication management for those using medication planners. We do it for you. Come see us at Lowry Drug in Statesville. Call 704-873-2247. Come see us.
I'll be honest. I wanted to be a diva. Why feel guilty? Let me help you be a diva for a few hours a week. Yes, I'm Andrea, owner of Spotless Cleaning. Our guarantee? It is very special. If you're unhappy, we'll do it again. Still unhappy? Your fee is donated to a charity of your choice. The Docinho de Coco guarantee. To honor my grandparents, who taught me both a spotless house and time to live life big are important. Spotless Cleaning and C.com.
Take your life by the reins and let the horses at Willow Equine heal and empower you. Located in Mooresville, our services help with trauma, anxiety, depression, and addiction. Love life again. Visit willowequine.com today.
Men over 45, do you have a frequent, urgent need to urinate or a weak flow? Do you suffer from an enlarged prostate or BPH? Want to learn about alternatives to BPH medication and major surgery? How? Talk to a doctor about the UroLift system. The UroLift system is the #1 chosen minimally invasive BPH procedure in the U.S. It uses a proven approach to treating enlarged prostate symptoms that lifts and holds the enlarged prostate tissue out of the way, so it no longer blocks the urethra. No heating, cutting, removal, or destruction of prostate tissue is required. Find rapid symptom relief while preserving sexual function. Call 1-800-858-7070. 1-800-858-7070. That's 1-800-858-7070. Most common side effects are temporary and can include discomfort while urinating, urgency, inability to control the urge, pelvic pain, and some blood in the urine. Rare side effects, including bleeding and infection, may lead to a serious outcome and may require intervention.
Friendly reminder, don't brake when you see the lake.
WSIC. Local starts here.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. NBA owners signed off on the $10 billion purchase of the LA Lakers to Mark Walters, the CEO of Guggenheim Partners and owner of the LA Dodgers and other sports entities. He agreed to buy the Lakers from the Buss family back in June. The $10 billion price tag is the largest ever in a control sale of a sports franchise. Meanwhile, the WNBA and its players are staring down the expiration of their collective bargaining agreement, although some of the league's closest watchers say a lockout or a walkout appears unlikely. The league's current labor deal is set to expire tomorrow, although officials have offered the players a 30-day extension in the hopes of continuing negotiations. And Hollywood is finally making a movie about Hello Kitty. Warner Brothers announced on Instagram a Hello Kitty feature film that'll be hitting theaters in the summer of 2028. There have been 3 Hello Kitty anime films released in Japan. This will be the first English-language feature project. Erica Herskowitz, Bloomberg Radio.
Don't miss a thing. Download the WSIC News app today. WSIC. Local starts here.
From market trends to retirement plans, Joshua Dobi has you covered. We're back with more Dollars and Cents presented by North Main Financial on WSIC. Local starts here.
Hello and welcome back to Dollars and Cents, presented by North Main Financial. I'm your host, Joshua Dobi. Thank you so much. You hang with us here into the second half. I was going to say the fourth quarter. We're not there yet. Third quarter of today's show. We're in the second half of today's show, and I appreciate you spending that time with us here as we're talking about all things economic, financial, and financial, food, football. We talk about it all. I wrap it into things that have to do with financial, but I like to make it a little bit anecdotal for you as well so that I can keep you interested because I got to talk about some of the serious stuff here as well. That's what we do, and but all of it has to do with the financial impact on things. So let's talk about another word that begins with the letter F. Don't get carried away. Anybody on the airwaves here. Let's talk about the Federal Reserve. They met this past week, had a report given. All right, let me say more like a news conference, not really so much a report, but let's say a synopsis of the meeting from Fed Board Chair, Jay Powell, and there was the announcement made that, as was almost completely expected by the market, that the Federal Reserve Board reduced the overnight lending rate by 1/4% or 0.25%, which makes the second meeting in a row of a reduction in rates, and so that's 2 quarter-point reductions here over the last couple of months. No meeting in November, or I should say, no scheduled meeting. They do have the right and possibility to have a called meeting. Probably not going to happen, short of some significant geopolitical event, which would force them to do that. So I would say let's expect for the next meeting to be in the early part of October. I think it's the second week of October, as memory serves, relative to the Fed's calendar, and so we're about 6 weeks away, which is going to be very interesting to hear from them at that point. But what was more interesting, at least to me, and I think to the broad market, this past week, as Jerome Powell was doing his news conference, is that he, well, I would say, was very intentional, at least insofar as Fed board speak is concerned, which is often ambiguous and muddy and cloudy and all of the other appropriate metaphors, and saying that it's really hard to figure out what they're trying to say sometimes. He was very intentional, I would say, during the course of the news conference to say my words now in replacing his, but getting the idea that don't count on that there's necessarily going to be a rate cut in December. And I'll say, at least insofar as the futures markets were concerned, not that way right this moment, but insofar as the futures markets were concerned at that time, there was not 100% assumption, but we were north of 2/3. We were north of 65% of assumption by the futures markets that there was going to be a third rate cut here in December. And Jerome Powell was very intentional about saying, A, there's division on the board, meaning there are some yeses and nos relative to even this rate cut that happened this past week. And then with regards to what's going to happen in December, he really said, it's nowhere near decided yet. We're going to see what the data look like between here and there, and then make our decision based upon that data as we get to that time. Now, from a timing standpoint, what I like about that, I always like this about the December meeting, is we have most of the Christmas retail numbers, or let me say this, most of the indications about the Christmas retail numbers. We really don't get final numbers until mid to late January, but most of the indications about Christmas retail numbers, and certainly reflections from our largest retailers. So I'm looking at you, Walmart. I'm looking at you, Target. I'm looking at you, Kohl's. I'm looking at you, even though they don't directly sell much, Amazon. As well, in terms of saying, what does the traffic intensity, buying intensity look like with regards to the consumer? Because, and you hear me say this constantly here on Dollars and Cents, but it's very, very important, we are a spend economy, meaning we are a function of how the consumer spends her money. And so knowing what the retailers are seeing, especially with something that is as concentrated as the Christmas retail season, is very often not the indicator, but is very often an important style of indicator about where the consumer is, and that's certainly very important when we're thinking about where we are economically. And thinking about what comes next, certainly in terms of growth and in terms of just overall economic activity. So we're going to be watching that very closely, along with, of course, the Christmas retail season, and certainly what the Federal Reserve Board is thinking. So I'm sure we're going to hear from a number of board governors. They're always out there making speeches to various entities, and so you get this flavor and that flavor, and certainly the ones that I hear with most regularity, there definitely is a divergence on the board. It is not a unanimous kind of thought process that says that everybody thinks that we should cut rates or everybody thinks that we should hold rates. Obviously not the case since we've cut here the last two meetings, but there is definitely a divergence of opinion. So we're going to be watching it. It's always interesting, always fascinating. I'm going to be interested to see the justification if they do cut again in December. I don't see it at this point. I don't see economic justification to reduce rates again. Would I like to see it? Sure. The equity markets love it. Our savers really don't like it. If you're looking at money market interest rates, if you're looking at CD yields, those are largely reflective of the cuts that the Federal Reserve has made. Not a one-to-one correlation, but definitely moving in concert with that kind of thing. So when I'm looking at that, I'm like, oh, not great again for the savers out there. Probably pretty good in the equity markets, especially the more aggressive end of the universe, which is a very nice segue, unintentionally, but we'll make it intentional. Talking about another big hitter out there in the technology universe. Again, one of the biggest ones, and certainly branding-wise, one of the most well-known on the planet. I'm looking at you, Microsoft. Ticker symbol Mary, Sam, Frank, Tom, MSFT. Not a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold the debt or the equity there. Very interesting. I mean, I know I say it about all of them, but I do. I think it is very interesting to see their spend on AI as well. A little bit like Meta is just astronomical. Not millions, but billions, and not just single billions, but tens of billions of dollars per quarter that these guys are spending on, and gals are spending on AI-related infrastructure. It's just amazing. It's such a new space in terms of corporate focus. And even if you're in the more, quote, traditional industries, I mean, there still is a tremendous amount of discussion about investment in AI-related things, what that means for workforce, what that means for capital expenditures, what that means in terms of physical plant, office space, or manufacturing facilities, however you want to define that, on the physical plant end of things. It is amazing. And certainly Microsoft was out there saying, again, we're going to keep spending. They were down. Though the market didn't particularly like it, probably because there wasn't enough euphoria on the earnings end of things. So the earnings were good. Their cloud spending, their product on the cloud end of things is Azure, Azure, and that spending was up over 40%. This past quarter as well, so spending a tremendous amount of capital there, but largely related to AI functionality within the cloud. So all of those numbers blending together a little bit, but the point being, earnings okay, definitely a lot of spending on AI-related pursuits. Market didn't like it all that much, so the stock came down. Going to be interesting to see where things shake with them, because this kind of spending, so this is just a larger rubric. This is not specific to Microsoft, but let's say a larger rubric for let's call it the macro technology space. So talking about the especially big cap, large cap technology space. Can't keep spending like this forever. Can't do it. There's an end game. There also is a law of large numbers that sits out there as well that says that you can't keep doing this forever. But they can't keep going at this pace of spend. And I know that there's significant concern out there in the market about the circular nature of these companies investing in one another. You know, whether you're looking at Microsoft and Oracle and OpenAI and Meta, and it's all kind of moving around in a circle as far as their investments in one another. Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned because they're all counting it as sales, but are they really just moving capital around to each other in a circle, which really doesn't help anybody in terms of a production of value, at least on day one, kind of thing. So we're going to watch it. It is a dynamic time. It's an interesting time. All things that have to do with AI. Please don't ask me to explain to you how it works. I don't know. But I do know that sometimes I type in some things and it spits out an answer, and that answer looks relatively correct. So I take it sometimes. All right. We're going to take a break, though. And for a moment, we're going to hear from our sponsors coming back on WSIC.
Make no mistake.
Did you say steak?
We'll be back to talk more finances and food on Dollars and Cents, presented by North Main Financial on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, finally breaking free of the clouds and the rainy weather pattern that we've started the week with. Sunshine coming back as we work through our Thursday. Temperatures warm back up into the low 60s. Dropping off into the low 40s tonight. Halloween day for our Friday in good shape with sunshine at mid-60s, falling through the 50s. as the kiddos head out for trick-or-treating. So it should be a nice night and a nice weekend coming up. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. The 500 Club in Statesville is having their Thirsty Thursdays tournament on October 30th, beginning at 4:30 p.m. Call 704-872-9990 for more information on tee times, putting lessons with their golf pros, and league tournaments. Let's do the time warp again. On Halloween night, WSIC is bringing the Rocky Horror Picture Show to the Charles Mack Citizen Center in Mooresville. This cult classic movie will be shown in the Knox Auditorium along with a shadowcast. The VIP experience begins at 6 p.m. with showtime at 8. Come dress up and be prepared to sing and dance along. It's just a jump to the left. Tickets are on sale right now at WSICnews.com. Saturday is the 23rd annual Statesville Pumpkin Festival. Downtown will be packed with mouth-watering food, live music, arts and crafts, a kids zone, pumpkin smashing, painting, and a classic car cruise-in. The festival runs from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Go to statesvillepumpkinfest.com for more details. The dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway presents the World Short Track Championships on Friday and Saturday. And then the World of Outlaws World Finals are November 5th through the 8th. Click on charlottemotorspeedway.com for more information.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Saturdays and Sundays now through November 23rd. There's music, comedy, circus entertainments. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. While supplies last. Huzzah!
Stay up to date and find out about local events, job opportunities, real estate information, and more. Visit liveworkplaylkn.com and sign up for the weekly newsletter. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
From market trends to retirement plans, Joshua Dobi has you covered. We're back with more Dollars and Cents presented by North Main Financial on WSIC. Local starts here.
Hello and welcome back to Dollars and Cents presented by North Main Financial. I'm your host, Joshua Dobi. Thank you so much for hanging with us here. You made it, fourth quarter of today's show. If you're a 9 to 5er, you got 11 minutes, 53 seconds until we hit that 5 o'clock bell. And I appreciate so much you spending that time with us here as we're talking about all things economic, financial, food, football. We're doing that stuff too. Got to talk a little bit of food. We haven't talked food yet. Gosh, we're in the fourth quarter. I know we're going to talk a little bit more about the markets, but I've been giving you that for the first three quarters as well. So got to talk a little bit of food here. I'm looking at you, Chipotle. Very interesting. Now, Chipotle, for a little bit of history, a little bit of background here, Chipotle has had a little bit of a boom-bust cycle during the time that it has been a publicly traded company, which, by the way, Chipotle, ticker symbol Charlie Mary Green, CMG, not a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold the debt or the equity. They came out like a house on fire. And, I mean, when they went public, very, very popular, very huge expansion. I mean, hundreds of stores that were built very, very quickly. And then they ran into some quality control issues and really took a hammer just got buried. Certainly from a stock standpoint, and then even certainly from a sales standpoint for a while there. Then they got the ship righted. Actually, Brian Nichols, who's now over at Starbucks, he was the guy there at Chipotle who guided that ship along with a superior team to get them back online, to the extent that Chipotle recovered completely, and I would say even beyond where they were before. But that does not include this past quarter. Very interesting. This just came out today, as of the time of this live broadcast or the time of this recording. Chipotle came out, quarterly earnings, dip in sales, dip in top line revenue, dip in profit, definitely took the market by surprise. Very interesting in this time and world of regulation, FD, financial disclosure, where you got to tell the whole market basically everything that's going on pretty continuously. Definitely the market wasn't anticipating that. And also very interesting, especially with regards to Chipotle. And Producer Reese, I'd be interested in your thoughts on this as I'm looking at it, because it speaks to much more your demographic than my demographic. And what I'm saying is, Producer Reese is a bright young man, and I am the opposite of that. That the report from Chipotle said that they are losing sales right now from the younger demographic. Now, what I heard that, so my thought immediately went to, okay, is the shine off of the diamond a little bit, so maybe it's just not as popular, or Is there other competition out there that you think is cutting into? I don't know.
There's some.
Okay.
I think
there are more choices. I guess there are other options out there.
Panda Express, maybe.
Okay.
All
right.
And then also in Birkdale,
right?
You got Kava as well.
Oh yeah, the
That's getting
Mediterranean
really
food.
big.
That's big. That's true. Yeah. Raising Cane's. I mean, I think if you're looking at it around the country, I mean, I know they don't do burritos, but boy, they're exploding in growth.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah.
Moe's as well.
Oh yeah, Moe's. Oh yeah.
Moe's.
Welcome to Moe's. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe just competition and some restaurants, after being around for so long or how many years, the quality of the food seems to go down.
Can happen. I mean,
so I don't know if that's another reason why.
I hope not, because they went through that. Chipotle went through that for a while there and really suffered as a company and sales and certainly an image. And it took a while to get that ship righted.
There were a couple of food poisoning.
Yeah, I do remember that was in that
with
mix.
them.
I do remember that in that mix as well. That was a tough time, but they bounced back from it.
Yeah.
But now I'm saying, and again, I don't want to extrapolate too much on a single quarter because I mean it's 90 days worth, right? I mean, so it's not like we're indicting the whole company. I just what really caught my eye was how differing the quarterly report was from what was expected. Meaning I should say it this way, there aren't too many huge negative surprises with big companies anymore because of the financial disclosure requirements. You don't see too many. Every once in a while. But this was one of them. The stock was down 17%. I mean, it just it just dropped quickly as the market was trying to quantify it a little bit.
I don't know what caused. I'm not sure what caused the drop to be that quick. Maybe there's something I don't know about.
There might be. Sometimes when the market gets surprised, it overreacts, right? So I mean, because the market really doesn't know. So the market was kind of leaning in one direction, and their report came out significantly in the other direction. And I think it was because of how different the actual results were from expectations. Which with any company, if you're far away, and that's true in the positive, by the way, as well. Meaning when you sometimes called a surprise to the upside. If it's significantly above expectations, usually the market's going to reward you big on the upside as well. But if it's a big miss, so if it's a not a small beta but a large beta in terms of movement off of expectations, the market tends to move very very quickly and probably at some level overreacts. I would think. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't know if there's like one specific thing that
I think you're probably
made
right.
the stock drop.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think so. I think that you got the surprise element in there. Maybe like you said, competition. I mean, I think that's definitely out there. I mean, I think that's with all these QSRs,
especially Kava because it's newer.
Yeah. When you're the shiny thing, you get a lot of benefit.
I was going to say Moe's, but I'm not sure because
maybe you're trying to think of like other restaurants that serve similar style food. I mean, you gotta
and restaurants that are newer.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, and so it'll be interesting to see. Again, this might be just a blip on the radar screen that from which Chipotle recovers here in the next quarter. But that jumped out to me because of just how much off of expectations that their report was. So kind of interesting. All right, I got one here. It's not publicly traded. We do these, or we don't do them actually. We just report on them of these best of lists. And we did one last week that did, and my struggle with this, that did the worldwide best hamburger survey.
Oh yeah.
Now I raised my hand very quickly before I talked about any of them, and I said I don't think that's legitimate. I don't know that it's humanly possible because let me say it this way: I have not been everywhere, not by far from it. I have also not had every hamburger out there, far from it.
Yeah,
but I've had a lot of them.
I still haven't had the Whataburger on 150.
You better get there.
I am. I am getting there.
You better get there. Of course, wait for that line to die down a little bit. Talking about sparkly things.
Yeah.
Not because it's still the new thing.
That's very sparkly.
Oh my gosh, brand new. Yeah. So it's definitely up there, which means big lines that are waiting for that thing. But when you can, oh my gosh, is it amazing?
There's been times where I've gone past it.
Yeah.
And the line seems to not be that long.
Right.
So I guess it's just whatever time you go during the day.
A little variance. Yeah. Probably like about now is probably when it's starting to stack up.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy over there.
Dinner time.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's definitely worth it. So make sure you get up there on that new Whataburger up on 150. Okay. But this survey that I found here, Producer Reese, and I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on because we've not talked about this previously, this particular product. And I'll tell you in advance, it's a condiment. And actually, by most most surveys that I read, it is the number one number one in terms of, I think, volume and number of uses here in the United States, condiment-wise.
Okay, I have two things I'm thinking of.
Okay, I'm going to give it to you. So you tell me if it's one of the two. Ranch dressing.
Okay, it was not, but I can see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's ranch dressing. And kudos to whoever has pushed ranch dressing to be used on things other than salad.
I was thinking,
amazing.
My two thoughts were pickles.
Okay, definitely.
And
definitely
ketchup.
Ketchup was, I think, if they're not the number one, then it was salsa for a while that I saw up there was number one in terms of a condiment. And but I believe this is correct, that ranch is the number one used because
I could see it.
It's crossing other things, right?
Yes.
I mean, so it's not just salad, but I mean, I know people that's the only way they have pizza.
Yeah.
You know, they're dipping that pizza.
That's my girlfriend.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Pizza and ranch dressing, ranch dressing and chicken tenders.
Bingo.
Ranch dressing and
keep going down the line. You can do it. You can put it on salads, sandwiches. I mean, there is a huge amount of use out there. Huge amount.
When we go to a restaurant, and they say, "Would you like anything, any sauce or anything?"
Mm-hmm.
I go, "No." And then my mom or girlfriend will interrupt. He'll have ranch,
absolutely,
just so they can get extra.
I was saying, not for you, but for me.
Yeah.
No, it's very true. So anyhow, there was a survey done. All right, so by the folks over there at Food and Wine, foodandwine.com. We're not affiliated with them at all, but I tend to look at them for some kind of cool, fun news things when it comes to the food universe. The number one, I shouldn't say, what they consider to be the best ranch dressings out there. And I was a little bit surprised at the results. And like with any survey, again, this was very unscientific. So I don't know how many they tried. They had 15 in the list, but maybe they only tried 15 and said this, we're going to start ranking these. Yeah. I mean, I don't think they tried 1,500.
20 is too many to rank.
Yeah, as I say, they just don't want to keep going down that list. I mean, at a certain point, I think all of them would start to blend together unless you really had to clean your palate between them. I mean, ranch is ranch at a certain point.
Yeah.
And don't be calling in the studio telling me the ranch is not ranch. I don't want to hear about your particular great passion for one ranch dressing or another, although I do like it. But here are the top ones. I thought it was kind of interesting. These are names that I do recognize. Mm-hmm. There were other ones in there towards the middle, bottom of the list I didn't recognize, so I didn't include those. But the top one, according to foodandwine.com, Ken's Steakhouse. So it's not steak, obviously dressing, but it's Ken's Steakhouse or Ken's ranch dressing in a bottle. Number one, according to them. Very interesting. I thought that was very, very interesting that was number one. And they did it on texture, on creaminess, on taste, on spice.
On all the great things about ranch dressing.
I mean, they did. And they said that was number one. Second in the list of things, very interesting, because this one is in the refrigerated section. So you can buy Ken's as a shelf-stable one, right, out in the middle of the store there. But this one is in the refrigerated section, and I didn't think was a huge seller. I mean, at least not like Ken's or some of the other ones. But Marzetti's. So Marzetti, I've seen it. It comes in something that looks like a mason jar. I've seen this before. Yeah. So it's
okay. I don't think I have personally.
It's very good actually. I've had it before, so it's very good. The one that was surprising to me, because this is the one I thought would be number one by a country mile, Hidden Valley Ranch.
Yes.
HVR.
Yes.
Which is owned by Kraft Heinz. Kraft Heinz, publicly traded company still. Kelly Henry Zulu on there. Not a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold the debt or the equity there. Was number 7. That was that was the point where I said, I'm not sure about the scientific nature of this poll here. So anyhow.
I don't like that survey.
I know. That's what I said when I looked at the end of it. I was, I'm not sure this is legitimate here. But anyhow. Well, friends, thank you so much for hanging with us here. Thanks for allowing us a little bit of anecdotal thought there and a little bit of fun talking about food. But as always, we're talking here on Dollars and Cents about things economic and financial, giving you some insight into hopefully what is happening in the universe, hopefully helpful to you in terms of looking at your particular portfolio and your particular financial situation. Tune in with us next week here on Dollars and Cents, presented by North Main Financial.
Serving you better than ever before. WSIC, Statesville, W290DK Mooresville, W264CU Statesville.
We speak fluent Fix-It. House Doctors of Mooresville handles repairs, renovations,